Building a dividend growth portfolio that pays you on average $100 per month in dividend income is a massive milestone to surpass, and even a very memorable milestone that I passed earlier on years ago in my early days of investing. Now that $100 per month milestone is so important because at that point when your dividends are now bringing in on average $100 per month, you could, of course, if you chose to do so, use that money to pay a bill like a cell phone bill, car insurance, etc. And although I can't speak from everyone, that was definitely one of my first initial tastes of the freedom that dividends were going to provide me later on in life. Now, in this video, we're going to go through 5 different methods, 5 different investment vehicles that could easily and in a pretty cheap fashion generate you $100 per month in dividends on a monthly basis. So if you're interested in earning $100 per month in dividends in a cheap, easy, and safe manner, make sure to drop a like down below, subscribe, and let's get right into the first method. Real quick, for those that haven't already, make sure to go to the first link in my description and grab my new dividend investing ebook, where I share exactly how I went from $0 invested to now earning over $6,000 on a monthly basis and over $1 million invested in the markets. Along with the ebook, you're also going to receive my custom dividend tracker, where you can track your dividend progress on an ongoing basis and reach your dividend investing goals. So make sure to grab yourself a copy of my dividend investing ebook and the new dividend tracker today. It's the first link in my description. Now, the first way an investor could easily earn $100 per month on average is by investing into something like SPYI or the NEOS S&P 500 High Income ETF. Now, this ETF tracks the S&P 500 and also sells covered calls. And at least so far since inception, this ETF has paid massive dividends every single month to investors like myself. Now, across the entire market, as far as high income ETFs, SPYI is currently one of my favorites for multiple different reasons. But as far as SPYI's dividend goes, we're looking at almost a 12% trailing 12-month dividend yield. And because SPYI pays out around 49 cents every single month, more or less, it looks like an investor would need just 204 shares of this ETF in order to hit that $100 per month goal. Now, with where SPYI is currently trading at as of right now, filming this video, that means an investor would need to invest around $10,081 into SPYI if an investor, of course, wanted to reach that $100 per month goal as far as dividend income goes. Another great investment vehicle to reach that $100 goal a lot sooner would be to invest into something like the JP Morgan Nasdaq Equity Premium Income ETF or JEPQ. Now, like I sort of stated, I'm only going to be going over ETFs in this video that I would consider extremely safe. We're not going to be talking about any of the ultra high yielding junk in this video. Although some of those ETFs out there that yield, say, north of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% are also sort of fun to look into and use as sort of satellite gamble positions in our portfolios, at least in my opinion. But JEPQ tracks the NASDAQ and also sells covered calls, and by doing so generates a decent amount of income for investors. As you can see right here, the income isn't always the same, and that's because things like volatility and option premiums are not the same ongoingly, but overall JEPQ offers investors a relative decent yield, which is around 8 or 9% trailing 12 month. Now, because JEPQ pays on average around 43 cents per share per month in dividends, an investor will need to purchase around 232 shares of it. Which means in theory, an investor would need to invest around $12,441 worth of JEPQ in order to have $100 per month of dividend income coming in consistently. Another higher yielding ETF that I'm also a fan of and that I also hold a ton of is JEPI, of course, or the JP Morgan Equity Premium Income ETF. Now, JEPI offers a trailing 12-month dividend yield of around 7.3%, and just like JEPQ, it is going to have a dividend that pays out differently every single month, more or less, due to things like volatility. But even if JEPI was to pay, let's say, 40 cents on average per month in dividends, an investor would only need around 250 shares of it, or in theory, around $14,250 worth of JEPI in order to have that $100 per month goal hit. Another way an investor could reach that $100 dividend goal relatively quickly would be to invest into something like the NEOS Nasdaq 100 High Income ETF. Now, this ETF is very similar to that of SPYI, but instead of tracking the S&P 500 and selling calls, they track the Nasdaq. Now, this ETF, although has not been around all that long, is paying around 60 cents more or less per month, at least so far. Which means in theory, an investor would only need around 166 shares of this ETF, or only around $8,333 invested into the NEOS Nasdaq 100 High Income ETF in order to receive around $100 per month in dividends. Now, although there's so many different ways, so many different stocks and ETFs to get to that $100 per month dividend goal, the last example for this video specifically will be to invest into the Simplified Volatility Premium ETF or SVOL. Now, SVOL pays a massive dividend and has so since inception, around 30 cents more or less over the last year. Now, because SVOL pays more or less 30 cents on a monthly basis, an investor would need around 333 shares of it. Or in theory, an investor would only need to invest around $7,333 of SVOL in order to receive around $100 per month. Now, just for some perspective, just to show you the sheer difference of different investment vehicles, take something like S&P 500 ETF Trust. Now, even though SPY does not pay a dividend monthly, let's just take the average of the last few dividends and say that SPY pays roughly 65 cents per month. This means that in theory, if an investor wanted to use the S&P 500 ETF Trust or SPY, in order to earn $100 per month in dividends, an investor would need to purchase around 153 shares of it. Or an investor would need to purchase around $80,000 worth of SPY in order to receive $100 per month in dividends. Now, of course, I'm not saying that the ETFs we went over in this video are necessarily better than SPY. All I'm saying is that if your goal is for whatever reason to reach that $100 per month goal, as far as dividend income goes, it's going to take a lot more money investing into SPY than it is with others. So now that we went over 5 different ETFs that in my opinion are high quality and all would allow an investor to reach that $100 per month dividend income goal a lot faster. I lastly now want to hear from you guys down below. What is your number one favorite higher yielding ETF that you're buying as of right now that's helping grow your dividend income substantially? Drop it in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to please drop a like and subscribe for more future content like this. Thanks as always for stopping by, and if you are interested in investing, make sure to check out these recent videos I posted right here.